blood he had lost. His breathing was slow, his chest hardly rising and falling, and she could scarcely feel the beat of his heart when she put her hand on his neck. She bent over and kissed him. The wind rattled rain on the window by his bed. For 15 years the Earl had looked on the estates through that window, and through all those long seasons of his dying, his daughter had been his consolation and his joy. She was called Lady Campion Lazender, and, on this September night of 1792, she was 24 years old. She had been given beauty as few are given beauty, yet she seemed unaware of the gift. She was slim and tall, with pale gold hair that was the colour of fine wheat 2 weeks before harvest. She had a face that was swift to smile, and her quick spirit flashed like sunlit gold in the huge halls and sickness-haunted rooms of Lazen Castle. She could have been in London. She could have danced in palaces and taken tribute from every hopeful son, yet she would not leave Lazen. Her father was sick, her brother absent, and she had taken the reins of Lazen into her slim hands, and it was she who was its ruler now. She was sensible, practical, and decisive. She could talk to ploughmen or lawyers, millers or magistrates, and every man left her presence a little bit in love and ready to believe that Lazen was not cursed. There was a belief that the castle was cursed. The Earl was dying, drunk when he was awake, racked by pain when he awoke. The Countess was dead, killed giving birth to a stillborn child. The eldest son, who would have inherited Lazen, had been burned to death with his wife and child. Lazen, the house of fortune, seemed cursed in all things but its daughter. A servant piled coals on the fire. Campion still held her father's hand, and she stroked his face as if she could drive her love through his insensibility. She prayed for the doctor to come quickly, that her father would not die, that he would live, at the very least long enough to see Toby married. Toby was her brother, the new heir, Viscount Worleton. He was in Paris, a member of the British embassy there, and now that the French had imprisoned their king and the revolution was turning bloodier by the day, he was coming home. He was bringing a bride with him, a dark-haired French girl of winsome and fragile beauty. There would be babies soon in Lazen, and Campion was glad. Lazen needed babies, and she prayed that this pale, bleeding man would live to see them. There was the sound of running footsteps. She turned, and William Carline, the castle's ponderous steward, appeared breathless at the door. "My lady." "What is it?" She knew it was bad news. She could tell by his face, paler than ever, and by the flicker of panic that ran like lightning among the servants. "It's Dr. Fenner, my lady. He's not home. They say he's gone to Millet's End." Carline's voice trailed away. All the servants stared at her. She was 24, and on her slim shoulders rested this great house and all its possessions. She lifted the blanket to look at the stump of her father's leg. She thought there was more blood on the linen, and she knew her father was going to die unless she acted swiftly. "Carline, my lady, I want you to go to the stables, please. Wake Burrows and ask for the horse needles and thread." He blinked and nodded. "Yes, my lady." "I want water, Caleb." She was trying to think of what else she would need. Candles, linen, and courage. Her maid stared wide-eyed at her. "You're going to sew him up, my lady. And you're going to help me." The storm had blown itself out by the time she had finished. She had untied the crude bandage, washed the stump, tied the broken artery, then taking the flap of skin, stitched it into place. She had worked from instinct, doing what seemed to be necessary, frowning when the fragile skin tore under the thread's pull. Edna had held a candle close to her hands, while Caleb and another servant held her father still. Now, the room thick with the smell of lymph and blood, she untied the silken bedcord from her father's thigh. She watched in fear as the white skin flushed red with the released blood, the flush going ever closer to the newly closed wound. But, to her relief,